But wait, there's more. Hey guys, my name is Yasmina. This is the second part of my massive book haul because I have not done a book haul in about 7 or 8 months. This is the aftermath of that. I bought too many books, so I had to split up this book haul into 2 parts. The first part should already be out, and that was covering all the fantasy and science fiction books, so I'll link that down in the description and a pinned comment if you've missed that. But this video will cover all of the other genres that I've bought that isn't science fiction or fantasy. So let's just get into it. Let's go over the digital books first, so audiobooks and ebooks, because as usual, they are real books, guys. So I think the only audiobook that I have to talk about is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I'm actually currently listening to this, although it's kind of sort of on and off, little bits at a time. This explores the many possible outcomes of our main character's life. So she essentially finds this midnight library with a weird librarian who shows her all of the possible lives that she could have led. And then I have some ebooks. So I have 2 Alice Oseman novellas, which I've also actually already read. So I have Nick and Charlie and This Winter. Alice Oseman is one of my favorite YA contemporary authors, and I have recently read Solitaire, which is actually her debut novel. I actually read her debut last. In this novel, there's a couple of side characters, Nick and Charlie, who are 2 boys who are in a relationship. So basically, both of these novellas follow Nick and Charlie. Another book I have also already read, this is rare that this happens, is XOXO by Axio. This is a K-pop story. I really enjoyed this book. Our main character falls in love with a huge K-pop idol, even though she does not know in the beginning that he is a K-pop idol. Then the last ebook I want to talk about is What Are Friends For by Sarah Sutton. So actually, I've been watching Sarah Sutton's YouTube videos for a very long time. She's the fellow author tuber here on YouTube. I will link her channel down in the description because I really enjoy her channel and her vlogs. So yeah, she's an indie author, and these are all YA romance novels, and I think this is a friend to lovers story, and it's the first in her first series, so really excited to finally read one of her books. And then let's move on to the physical book. So the first I want to show you is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. So finally I have read, or have started reading, Heartstopper. I've actually already read both of these books, but this is volume 1 and this is volume 2, and the other 2 volumes are already on their way to my house because I literally read this in about 30 minutes. I read this in about an hour, really quick, and I loved both of these. So these are graphic novels. Let me just show you a bit of the art. So I mentioned Nick and Charlie, the 2 boys in a loving, respectful relationship from Solitaire, and this is essentially their story of how these 2 met. Sticking to romance, also a love story about 2 boys. Aristotle and Dante Dive into the Waters of the World by Benjamin Elias Sands. This is the sequel to Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, which is one of my favorite YA contemporary books of all time. I read that years and years ago, but it was just so beautiful. It was a beautiful story about 2 boys who are neighbors and their budding friendship. But I'm really excited to get back into this world of Aristotle and Dante and get to know more about them. The Jasmine Project by Meredith Ireland. This is the YA contemporary novel, and this is about our main character's parents setting up a Jasmine project to get her to meet someone new because her previous relationship was really toxic, but now she's out of it. The plan is simple: use Jasmine's graduation party as an opportunity for her to meet the most eligible teen bachelors in Orlando. Another K-pop YA contemporary novel. This is I'll Be the One by Lila Lee. The world of K-pop has never met a star like this. Sky dreams of joining the glittering world of K-pop, and to do that, she's about to challenge thousands of other performers in an internationally televised competition looking for the next K-pop star. Music survival show, K-pop survival show. I'm addicted to those guys. Like, genuinely, I love them, even though they're so incredibly over the top and dramatic and a lot of times staged. So entertaining. So entertaining. So this seems like the book version of that, but with a plus-sized main character, and I'm so curious how this plays out. Another YA contemporary novel by one of my favorite YA contemporary authors, In the Wild Light by Jeff Zedner. So Jeff Zedner wrote The Serpent King. Hands down one of my favorite YA contemporary novels. That book broke me. And I read another book by him which was definitely very different. It was more lighthearted and a much smaller story, which I enjoyed, but but it didn't have that punch that The Serpent King did. This is supposed to be more akin to The Serpent King. So if it's anything like that book, I think this will break me as well. Then I have The Disreputable History of Frankie Landau Banks by E. Lockhart. This is one of my favorite author's favorite books. This is one of John Green's favorite books that he recommends a lot, and I've always wanted to pick it up. So if this is anything like We Were Liars, I'm expecting a lot of sort of dark themes. Then I have 2 adult romance novels that have been really popular, and the first one is Beach Read by Emily Henry. This says 2 writers, 1 holiday, a rom-com waiting to happen. So essentially a rom-com book about 2 writers, I think, who are both having a bit of struggle writing. So they have a bit of a writer's block, and they both go on a vacation to try to get over that writer's block. And I think they end up writing their opposite stories. I think I'm gonna have a blast reading this. And then I have The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood, another one that's incredibly hyped and really popular right now. This is a fake relationship trope. So it says, when a fake relationship between scientists meets the irresistible force of attraction, it throws one woman's carefully calculated theories on love into chaos. 2 horror books that I've also already read. First one is Dracula by Bram Stoker. This is, of course, the classic horror novel. I made an entire video reading only Dracula books in October, so we'll link that video down below. And if you want to know what I thought about Dracula, go watch that video. And in the same video, I also read A Dowry of Blood by S.D. Gibson. And this was my favorite book that I read in that video, and I highly recommend this. It's quite a short, almost novella story about a polyamorous relationship between Dracula and his 3 brides, spanning centuries, and we follow Europe's history through the eyes of these 3 characters. This next one is a thriller. It's The Guest List. It says, a remote island, an invitation to die for. This sounds like it might be inspired by And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. So it says, each has a secret, each has a motive. Off the windswept Irish coast, guests gather for the wedding of the year. 13 guests, 1 body. Yeah, a very modern Agatha Christie. So I really loved And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. So if this is anything like that, I'm definitely going to like this. And finally, the very last book in this such massive book haul that I can't even begin. This is also a massive book, so it's a fitting end to this saga, A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. It's one of those books that is supposed to rip your heart out and make you cry. A lot of people say that don't read it if you're not in a good mental state. Yeah, I think it's very triggering for many different things. It's sort of a literary fiction novel, I think, following a group of friends. It might be slightly similar to The Secret History. That's one of my favorite books, even though it's totally messed up in so many ways. Even though I know this is supposed to be sad and devastating, I might actually like it or I might hate it. I don't know. I'm done. I'm so done. I'm genuinely tired now. Let me know if you've read any of these books in this video, or if any of them sound interesting to you and you're planning on picking them up soon. Do let me know that as well, and I will have links to all of the videos that I've talked about, all of the books, that I talked about in this video down in the description, so make sure you check that out. Check out the fantasy book haul, which was the part 1 of this massive book haul here if you've missed it. Otherwise, check out one of my other recent videos down here, and yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time in a new video. Bye!